Hello everyone and welcome to my Royal Family Today update channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. The King of Scotland's coronation has been dubbed a poor man's reenactment by critics. Charles. Today, King Charles will receive the honours of Scotland in a traditional ceremony to commemorate his coronation north of the border, but many have questioned its significance. King Charles will be presented with the honours of Scotland, the Scottish crown jewels, at a national service of thanksgiving later today, which will serve as a form of coronation. The event will take place in St Giles Cathedral in Edinburgh, and the special occasion will be commemorated by a people's procession, a royal procession, a 21-gun salute, and an RAF flypast. The Scottish Greens will hold a protest outside Holyrood today, and a historian has slammed the ceremonies as a poor man's reenactment of the extravagant coronation held at Westminster Abbey in May, especially since the event has been drastically scaled back, likely to avoid criticism of organizing another large-scale event during a time of high living costs. On June 24, 1953, Queen Elizabeth II celebrated her Scottish coronation, and tens of thousands of people filled the streets of Edinburgh to express their best wishes to the newly crowned monarch. She rode in an open landau carriage drawn by 4 Windsor Greys during the royal procession, dressed in stunning ceremonial robes. Today's celebration, however, will be cut back. The king will drive in a slightly shorter procession path and has foregone the carriage in favor of the enclosed state Bentley. The event has been described as a reduced imitation coronation by Professor Anne Whitelock, director of the Centre for the Study of Modern Monarchy. It is a poor man's reenactment where no one actually gets to wear the crown, she told the BBC. You're sort of boxing with the past. Following the union of the crowns in 1603, kings in Scotland celebrate their coronations separately to reflect the fact that he is not only the King of England, but also the King of Great Britain. The first repeat coronation took place in 1625, following King Charles I's coronation in Westminster Abbey. The Scottish Parliament asked that the monarch be crowned north of the border as well. The king, on the other hand, took his time, with the second coronation taking place at Holyrood in 1633. After King George IV's coronation in 1822, the tradition was suspended until Queen Elizabeth II reinstated it in 1953. However, the ceremony, which concludes with a national service of thanksgiving at 2:15 p.m., during which the king will be presented with the honours of Scotland, looks to have lost its importance, and many are criticizing it. The Scottish Greens co-leaders have stated that they will not attend the service, and Patrick Harvey has stated that he will instead speak at a rally outside Holyrood organized by the anti-monarchy organization Our Republic. Lorna Slater confirmed her decision not to attend Wednesday's ceremony, saying, "In 21st century Scotland, the monarchy is nothing to celebrate. It is an outmoded and undemocratic institution," she continued. "How can we justify a system that allows one family to have so much unearned wealth and privilege while millions of people have so little?" An Elizabethan composer is revived by King Charles. The king, like Elizabeth I in the 16th century, promotes William Byrd's compositions. To commemorate this Elizabethan composer's 400th birthday, BBC Radio 3 is broadcasting Byrd Song. King Charles has reignited interest in the obscure Elizabethan composer William Byrd, who spared execution despite writing dozens of masses for forbidden Catholics. "It's a journey of discovery for listeners and those who present it," said Tom Service, a prominent Radio 3 presenter. This week, Radio 3 will dedicate more than a dozen hours to music and documentaries commemorating Byrd's works in honor of his 400th birthday. King Charles III championed the composer's music, totaling 470 works, during his coronation, similar to Elizabeth I's support of Byrd in the 16th century. Service explains, Byrd's Mass for 4 voices was performed as part of King Charles II's coronation, music by a Catholic composer. That radicalism can still be heard today, as can the relationship between royalty and Byrd. It's fantastic that he was present at the coronation. Service showed that later in his life, Byrd produced masses for secretly observed masses in houses such as Ingatstone, where he lived in Essex. You hear a real urgency in these masses because you only had 20 minutes to observe Mass, he continues. Some of the people he worshipped with were executed, essentially for the crime of being Catholic, but Bird was saved due to his royal connections. According to Service, there are analogies for modern composers. We know of music being made in Ukrainian bunkers and even in Afghanistan, where music can only be made in secret. Some musicians are forced to compose their work in this manner out of fear of the most heinous persecution. I propose masses for 3, 4, or 5 voices to individuals who are unfamiliar with Bird's works. They have a sense of calm and quiet, but also amount of the King's Buckingham Palace mortgage would have increased when interest rates rose. Millions of UK mortgage holders are feeling the pinch of rising interest rates. If the King had won for Buckingham Palace, he'd be feeling the pinch as well. The Bank of England has been aggressively raising interest rates in order to combat persistently high inflation, which remains steady from April at 8.7% in May. It was 0.75% 5 years ago. Following 13 straight increases over the last year and a half, it is presently at 5%. As the cost of lending money in the country is represented by the rate, it is the primary determinant of how much banks and building societies charge mortgage holders. With the average 5-year fixed rate now at 6%, distressed homeowners have been begging with the government for assistance. As sovereign, King Charles III inherited tremendous wealth, avoiding the brunt of the cost of living problem. However, if Charles had a mortgage on his main Buckingham Palace property, fresh analysis has revealed the astronomical increase in payments that recent interest rate hikes would have produced. The palace is worth £3.9 billion, according to the investment platform Saxo. With a 25% deposit in mid-2018, this would have resulted in a monthly mortgage repayment of £6,995,035. In today's financial situation, this sum would have more than doubled to £13,983,701, a £7 million monthly rise in just 5 years. This is the greatest increase among all fictitious mortgage repayments computed by the business for 15 royal properties. Exorbitant prices are also associated with St. James's Palace. With a residence worth £600 million, the royals would have to pay £2,169,885 per month at a 5% interest rate, £1,084,449 more than in June 2018. According to the trader, this is roughly 1,500 times higher than the monthly average payback of £737. Interest rates have risen to their highest in 15 years, making the situation difficult for many thousands around the UK, particularly those looking to borrow and apply for mortgages, said Anam Raza of financial platform Saxo. Our research shows a greatly exaggerated problem affecting so many people, with mortgages nearly doubling in the last 5 years. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, so please don't forget to subscribe my channel and don't miss any update.